finally saw Godzilla minus one, and I have some thoughts. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Diamond, aka Lady Leo. I am a lover of all things nail polish, movies, TV shows, all sorts of things. My hope is that you come to my channel, find something that you love, and hit the subscribe button because I would love to have you. Godzilla Minus One is the latest Godzilla movie, this time coming to us from Japan. And before I get into my general thoughts, I just have to say how much I frigging love this movie. I'd heard really, really good things about it, and I had my ticket punched to see this movie a couple of times, but I kept saying to myself, I'm definitely going to go see that during my work week, and I have got to stop lying to myself. I do not go see things during my work week, but I finally saw this movie with my parents, and this movie was amazing. I was invested in it the whole time. The reason that I kind of held off on seeing this movie is that I'm not really a huge Godzilla fan. I've seen a handful of movies over the years. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that came from Japan. I know Godzilla originated in Japan, but all the movies I can think of that I've seen have been the American versions of the movie. So I remember seeing it was the Matthew Broderick? Yeah, it was the Matthew Broderick version, which would have been, I think that would have been the 90s, the late 90s. And then I think the next time I saw a Godzilla movie would have probably been somewhere last year. Was it the King Kong versus Godzilla? I don't know. My point is that I don't really keep up with them, so that was another reason why I was well, maybe I should just wait and see this movie when it comes to streaming. But I am so glad that I did eventually go and see it in theaters, because something about seeing a movie in theaters, especially when you're watching a movie and you're enjoying it, that's just nothing compares to the first time you see a movie that you really love in a theater going kind of experience. So this is a spoiler warning as well. The movie's been out for a while, but I do want to add a spoiler warning in here before I sort of get into talking about the plot and some of the things I really loved about the movie. So if you haven't seen it, you've been warned. This is your spoiler warning. This movie has so many great things going for it. It's hard to even know how to pick one. It's funny because it's marketed as being a Godzilla movie, and he's in it. I mean, he's definitely in it, but it's more like a human story where Godzilla just kind of pops up whenever he wants to, which is kind of great. It's the mystery of Godzilla. He's just there, and then he just disappears. And I was so invested in the human characters in this story, and I found myself crying a couple times because their story was so poignant. And then you have Godzilla coming in just raging. And I'm just go away, don't kill my friends, okay? Don't kill the people that I like in this movie. The movie is set in 1945, at least that's when it starts out. It takes place over a couple of years, and it is war-torn Japan after the end of the war. And we follow Koichi, who is a kamikaze pilot who decided that he did not want to fulfill his duty as being a kamikaze pilot, and he returns from war. The movie takes him on a path of life, love, the value of life, survivor's guilt from surviving the war, and the rebuilding of yourself and your community and all of those things that it means, which is why I said this movie is it's so poignant, and I was so invested in the human characters. I was invested in Koichi and this kind of little family that he kind of stumbles upon, and I really wanted all of them to be okay. But there's something that happens in the movie with a character that is part of Koichi's family, and I was really devastated with what happened. And during the moment I was you could have gone over there too, but it all kind of comes back at the end. But I can't say enough good things about this movie. If it's still in theaters, which I'm recording this in mid-January, so I don't really know if it will be. There's not a lot of stuff in theaters, so it could be. But if you have a chance to go see it in theaters, go. It is well worth it. And I think the thing that really makes this a great movie for me, on top of the really great human characters, is that when Godzilla is on screen, he is absolutely terrifying. Not just his size, but he has this presence about him, and he is just completely terrifying because there's nothing that can stop him. He's all just rage and anger, and it makes for like really intense, like edge of your seat when you're watching it, which is fantastic. And it's kind of what I like. Like I've seen some other Godzilla films where they're like Godzilla is he's a friend or whatever, but I like this where he's just sort of like an unknown and he just comes and goes as he pleases, and then when he does come, he just leaves a wake of destruction as he goes. I really like to what happens in this movie, which is essentially the citizens of Japan have to figure out how to take care of Godzilla themselves because the Japanese government is really trying to rebuild themselves. So they're not in a position to kind of figure out how to deal with the problem that is Godzilla. So the citizens who have been to war, they all come together and they're just like, we gotta science the shit out of it, which I love. I love how intelligent they are, and they're just like, okay, we've got to do this, we've got to do this, and we've got to figure out what is the best way to take care of him. And I love that not only do they have like their main plan, but they also have a contingency plan as well, just in case the main plan doesn't go like they want it to. They have a contingency that they hope will work too. So I love the ingenuity of that. I love to see like the citizens being the ones getting involved and like taking care of Godzilla. The government's nowhere to be found in this movie. So I just absolutely love this movie, and I can't wait till it comes to streaming so I can watch it again. Like I said, if you haven't had a chance to see it, you should definitely go check it out. And if you did see it, let me know. Did you love it too? Is it like one of your favorite Godzilla films? For me, not having seen the whole spectrum of Godzilla, it is definitely my favorite. But I've only seen like 4 Godzilla films, so make of that what you will. All right, that's my time. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you later. Bye.